What's up folks, CrushSG back with a Cyberpunk video. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison of some lighting mods for Cyberpunk 2077, and by lighting mods I mean mods that alter lighting, colors, and visuals of the game in general. So there are a ton of lighting mods out there, ranging from reshade presets to LUTs to complete overhauls. So for the sake of this video and for my sanity, I picked mods based on the following criteria. First, the mod must be available on Nexus Mods, for convenience. Second, the mod should do more than just one thing. There are plenty of smaller mods that just say remove the green tint, or remove the vignette, or just adjust eye adaptation. For simplicity, I'm looking at mods that are somewhat all-in-one solutions for your color, lighting, and even weather needs. Third, for this video at least, I avoided including reshade presets. All the mods in this video are archive files that work in-engine, so to speak. Nothing against Reshade, by the way. I use Reshade extensively myself, and I'll even make a couple of Reshade recommendations later on. I just wanted to keep things as simple as possible. You'd be surprised how daunting a simple thing like Reshade can be for the uninitiated. Alright, and lastly, the mod should also lean more toward the realistic side rather than the artistic side. There are quite a few lighting mods out there that drastically alter the way the game looks artistically, like introducing cell shading, anime colors, and intense neons. Not that they don't look good, some of them really do look good, but I wanted to also keep things kind of vanilla-ish. Alright, with that out of the way, I've narrowed the list down to 5 mods for this video, and the mods are the E3 2018 Lighting Mod, E3VR Lighting Mod, the Natural Californian Lighting Mod, and lastly both variants of the GITS Lighting Mod, the Fuji variant and the Legacy variant. Links to all the mods are in the description, of course. Now I'll be showing short clips of each mod individually, followed by a full side-by-side section, rinse and repeat for various scenes and various scenarios. I'll reserve my conclusions and thoughts for the end of the video. And quick note, I'm running a Radeon 7900 XTX with only rasterization settings maxed out. No ray tracing effects are active. Yes, all the mods work with RT, and you can assume that turning on ray tracing or path tracing will add more depth, better shadows, and more rounded lighting overall. Anyway, lastly, all these mods make their own changes to weather. I captured all clips from the exact same save files at the exact same locations and the exact same in-game time of day. I also used Weathermancer to set identical weather conditions, so any difference in weather and lighting that you see in the clips is 100% down to the mods themselves and how the game inherently handles weather, fog, and such. Okay, let's dive into the comparisons.
We lost everything. We had to pay the price. what you had to say, but I think of beauty will never fade away. Will never fade away. I see your eyes, I know you see me. You're like a ghost, you're everywhere. I'm your team, I'm never leaving. A metal soul of rage and fear. That one thing that changed it all. That one thing that caused the fall. A thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. What you did to me, I know. So what you had to say, but a thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. And I'll do my duty, I know. Somehow I'll find a way, but a thing of beauty will never fade away. And I'll do my duty, will never fade away. Will never fade away.
Being awful quiet. Everything alright?
Will never
It should have been me down there with Zomi, not you.
Being awful quiet. Everything alright?
It should have been me down there with Zomi, not you. I should have looked her in the eye. Heard her say she wanted out of life.
Alright folks, I hope that gave you at least a decent idea of the differences between the 5 mods. Honestly, figuring out the best way to visually compare 5 different mods wasn't the easiest thing to do. Now let's talk about my thoughts on these mods. So right off the bat, the E3 2018 Lighting Mod kind of put me off a little, simply because it was the most desaturated as well as a little too overexposed. I also don't know what the deal is with this mod, but almost every non-sunny weather scenario seemed to come with some light fog or haze of sorts, which kind of made the whole aesthetic feel overly soft and even unclear at times. I didn't overly scrutinize the E3 2018 showcase, so I don't know if the mod is actually accurate to what it claims to be. Nonetheless, this mod is one of the more popular lighting mods on Nexus, so perhaps my opinion here is in the minority. Moving on, we have the E3VR and the NCLM mods, and these two are pretty close in my eyes. E3VR is a little bit more saturated, a little bit more punchy, whereas NCLM is more understated and I guess more natural in its presentation. That said, I do feel that NCLM still retains a very slight green tint, but this can be easily fixed in Reshade if it bothers you too much. Now onto the GITS mods, and GITS has been one of my go-to lighting mods since 1.63. For those unfamiliar with it, GITS stands for Ghost in the Shell, and this mod takes heavy inspiration from it in terms of color palette. The special thing about GITS is that it is probably the most robust mod of all the 5 mods I showcased in this video. Within just one mod, you get lighting and color changes, improved rain effects that are based on Sosuin's rain effects mod, and this mod is one of the most popular rain effects mods on Nexus, period. You also get high definition vehicle headlights, which is also similar to the Better Vehicle Lights mod by Sosuin. Now what this does is it extends the range of your car headlights and also allows the headlights to cast shadows. Without this mod, the vanilla headlights are really dim and they don't cast any shadows. But wait, there's more. You also get immersive muzzle flashes, which is basically an amplification of the vanilla muzzle flash, and it makes it, well, more immersive. And this is apparently a top tier effect with ray tracing or path tracing turned on, but I've never personally tested it with ray tracing. GITS also apparently does something with bloom, but I can't say that I've noticed the improved bloom in my time using the mod. Oh, and GITS also fully supports high dynamic range, so those with HDR displays have all them gains. Now, as for the difference between the Fuji and the Legacy mods, as far as I can tell, Legacy is the original GITS, with Fuji being a unique color scheme that is meant to, I guess, present a more natural base that lends itself well to capturing footage and maybe editing it in post. Either way, I personally prefer Legacy over Fuji. Okay, now for my final thoughts and conclusions. I'd say my personal favorite mod would be the natural Californian lighting mod. It just feels the most natural and looks the most realistic to me. Rich colors that are not overly saturated, not overexposed, and also not overly dark or dim when it counts. And this is one of the few areas that I feel GITS kinda loses out. And yes, I get that it's subjective, but if you take a look at the side-by-sides, notice that both GITS mods are significantly darker than the rest. And it's almost pitch black in some places and certain scenarios, and I know that because I've used GITS for a long time. Now, this is undoubtedly immersive, and it can be easily fixed by running the simple flashlight mod or a night vision mod, but I find it just a little bit too dark for my liking. I would also say that where NCLM feels more realistic, GITS leans much more into the cinematic side of things, and to be fair, that is exactly what the goal seems to be for GITS. That said, GITS is still one of my top picks in general. It's a mod that I always recommend folks try out at some point. Alright, a couple of tips before I end the video. For those who don't mind using Reshade and want to have some shader suggestions, my top two shader picks for Reshade are the Immerse MXAO shader and Nice Guy Lighting. Immerse MXAO is probably the most powerful ambient occlusion shader available on Reshade. It is extremely accurate and it does a fantastic job as a replacement for the in-game stock AO. Though it can hit your FPS quite hard depending on how you have it set up. So rendering at half rate, which is one of the settings, you can go half rate, quarter rate, or full rate. I recommend setting it to half rate just to save on performance. You won't really notice a visual difference, but you will notice a difference if you turn it down to quarter rate. So just leave it at half rate or full rate if you have the FPS to spare. Now, Nice Guy Lighting, on the other hand, is kind of a two-in-one combo. It provides both global illumination as well as ambient occlusion. Now, use this one if you want to simulate some ray trace light bouncers of sorts, and as well as replace stock ambient occlusion in one single package. Now, another benefit of Nice Guy Lighting is that it handles upscaling much better than MXAO. MXAO is extremely sensitive to the shimmer and the flicker that comes when running any upscaler, so it is best used, in my opinion, in native resolutions, whereas Nice Guy Lighting is much better in upscaled scenarios. If you don't like the indirect light bounces that Nice Guy Lighting provides, you can always just turn the global illumination slider all the way to 0 and all you have left is the ambient occlusion. And finally, for those who prefer to use a non-GITS lighting mod but would like some of the secondary benefits of GITS, I will link the rain effect mod, the headlight mod, and the immersive flash mods in the description as well. Just remember to disable these mods if you ever decide to install GITS in the future because they are already included with GITS. Alright folks, that brings me to the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. I hope these lighting mods are interesting to you. I personally feel that lighting mods can really enhance the immersiveness and the visual quality of Cyberpunk 2077, which already looks great on its own, but lighting mods just add that final touch to just kind of round off everything else. Anyway, as always, thumbs if you liked it, down if you didn't. Crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, folks.
Good morning, night city, a day in the life. I was on my own, catching a ride with the lady. Her hair hangs down past her thighs, blue and pistol shit. Satisfies, leather jacket, zipped up tight. And big ones coming, look for lost and found. Iron gleams, bright and night city, where your appetite weighs you out to sunrise.
And those whiny bitches I dropped at the stacks? Fuck them! Fuck Dogtown! I'd burn this shithole to the ground if I could, along with everyone in it!
Better choose your next words carefully.
Here in our city, call me up alright. Here in our city.
Quality over quantity, V. Just focus on tying up all your loose ends. Then you and I are leaving this city once and for all.
Always been your choice, Somi. I get it now. And I gotta respect it.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for everything.
It should have been me down there with Somi, not you. I should have looked her in the eye, heard her say she wanted out of life. I could have changed her mind.